Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This video is going to be about how I invest in Prosper, and I'll be doing another one about Lending Club, but just to show you my thought process when investing. So I actually had a little bit of money and I decided to put it into my Prosper account, and I'm just going to show you how I do things. So usually when I get started, I am greeted with a search screen where I'm able to look through loans. After I get to said screen, I adjust my search criteria, and I'm usually taken to something like this where I can add additional criteria. So the things I look for are the following, and let me click on this to kind of show you. Public records in the last 10 years. This can be everything from something legal to a bankruptcy, and pretty much I don't want you to have any of those. If you do, it's usually not a good thing, and it's also been statistically shown that there is a greater chance that borrowers who have a public record tend to default more frequently. Okay, Prosper score, that's a thing generated by Prosper. The amount now delinquent, the amount delinquent if it is now delinquent, and I actually check both of these because for some reason I've seen things get slipped through if you only check in one of them, and then delinquencies in the last 7 years. So if you haven't guessed it already, I need all of these, now delinquent, amount delinquent, delinquencies, public records, I need all of them to be 0. That's the only way that I'm at least semi-confident that this borrower at least has the intention of paying back the loan from the very start. Now, obviously, things can happen, and that might not hold true, but I would like them all to be 0. And in rare occasions, I've let a delinquency slide through, like I've altered this to 1, just to see what's out there, and, sometimes people turn their act around. So, yeah. Or not this one. Now delinquent's a bad one. Delinquencies in the last 7 years. Okay, and I also need a minimum Prosper score of 6, sometimes 7 if I'm getting too many results. And this is just Prosper's belief of how likely this seller or this borrower is going to invest or give me back my money. So that's important. So at least 6, sometimes 7, and so on and so forth. So then after I do that, I filter the listings. I got 23 hits. And the verification process is pretty important to me. And the reason why is if they're at a 1, there's a good chance that they just like signed up but didn't really give Prosper any real information about themselves. They just threw like their name in the bucket. So a lot of these ones, and I've invested in ones before in the verification process, they don't actually like ever come to fruition. And if they don't come to fruition, you've already tied up your money into them. So like this could be a 1 for an additional 1 to 2 weeks. So everyone who invested in this loan, yeah, sure, it might happen, but it could just sit there. Your money can sit there for 1 to 2 weeks, and that's usually something I don't want to happen. So if you're serious about getting a loan, at least take it to stage 2. That at least shows you're serious, and preferably stage 3 means you've given Prosper everything they need and they've verified it. So those are the ones I hit. If I see a stage 1, I ignore it. Okay, starting off, I also adjust by amount. So I don't like investing in people who require more than $20,000. And that's just like my opinion. If I was thinking about myself paying back a $20,000 plus loan or debt or buying that type of object, that's a lot. And I cannot predict what's going to happen within those 3 years. And if something does happen, can I afford, with my emergency fund to survive as well as pay back the loan? So there's a good chance I can't. 20,000 has higher monthly payments, so I tend to think about it in terms of myself. So yeah, I go less. So I adjust by amount and I look how much funded. So like the first one here, $10,000, 8.66%, not a lot, but maybe they're worth checking out. So I would check this out. It would open up, and here they are. Okay, that monthly payment is reasonable. Even if I was unemployed, I could probably scrounge that much money per month to invest in a loan. So like it's doable for me, let's say. And then we just check what they have. Awesome. They have an awesome FICO credit score, 720 to 739. That's good. Prosper 6. That's good. They've worked for a long time. $100,000. That's believable, if you've worked 18 years. But what I don't like is this $190,000 revolving credit balance, which is utilizing 94% of their bank card. So I'm guessing they have about $200,000 limit, and they're almost at it. So they have $200,000 in credit, and they're asking for $10,000. So that's quite a difference. Especially, debt consolidation, $10,000 for some, that's like a drop in the bucket. So, even though everything else about this loan looks good, those numbers are just too far off, and I cannot confidently invest in this loan. So I'm going to skip it. I jump down to the next one, about $10,000, and I actually did invest in this one, so let me show that to you. So 10,000, that looks good. 13% is a higher yield. And this is still on day 13, which is another good sign. Like if people think this is a good note, other investors will invest. And when I look over here, I see that this person's been working for a year, 8 months in the state of North Carolina, making $100,000. So it's possible that this is some kind of startup, which have happened in the North Carolina area, claiming a computer programmer with a low debt income ratio. So they might be living on site to where they work. They are utilizing 28% of their credit, so they probably have a $12,000 credit, and they have a okay FICO and a good Prosper score. And they're looking to start some kind of business, it looks like, or maybe just invest in some business. But like overall, I think this is a pretty worthy investment. Like if what is stated here is true, I can foresee them paying this amount. Even if not, it's not a huge monthly payment, so they should probably be able to pull that together. So I liked it, so I invested in this. Okay, and then going down, there's a 1, ignore it. Debt consolidation, ignore it. A large purchase of $14,000 at 11.36%. I don't know, is that the other one I kind of liked? Let's find out. Okay, pop it open, take a look. It's Florida. They need $14,000 for a large purchase. They've been working somewhere for 4 years. And usually I don't like the sign other. I'd prefer if you told me your profession, because that's usually a good sign that you know what you're doing. And actually looking at this loan, I'm kind of a little skeptical about it again. So they need money for a large purchase. But I don't know what they do. So I don't know if this number, how accurate it is. I have a pretty good idea of how much people make. They've also $20,000 credit balance. They need this for a large investment. But looking at it, it actually doesn't look as good as the first time I did, so I'll probably skip it. And let's go down, skip all the ones. We got this, but the interest rate is too low, so I'm going to ignore this one. If you're going to risk $25, you want to make sure that you're risking it for a worthwhile investment. Okay, this one is 18,000, another large purchase. I'm going to kind of skip that one, and it looks like I'm not going to find anything. So, is that the end of the world? No, not really. Should I just invest in something because I got $25 sitting around? No, not really. What you should do is just wait every 6 hours or so. They release new notes or new loans into the marketplace. So I will look in 6 hours or so, and if I see something I like, I'll put my money in it. But don't feel like you have to invest all your money immediately. Just time the market. Don't be in a rush. Even once it's been invested, you still got to wait 30, 31 days before you get anything. So yeah, that's my investment process. Might not be the fastest, but it works, or it's worked so far, so I'm just going to continue with that process. Okay, hopefully you found this video interesting. If you have any questions or comments, or if you'd like to subscribe, I will be keeping you up to date with my update that happens at the start of May. Okay guys, I will see you all later. Happy investing. This is the Millennial Investor signing out. Peace.